Okay. All right, got my questions. So, Marissa, what's your last name?
McCann,
McCann, and what's your sport?
softball.
Softball, and position.
I'm a pitcher.
Pitcher. Ooh, pressure's on. Everybody's watching you. Wow. Well, thanks for hopping on here today. I really
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah. All right, so let's start with how tall are you?
5'9".
5'9". Okay, and you currently play in college, right?
Yes, at the University of Missouri.
University of Missouri. Did you get a scholarship?
I did.
Okay. Now, how did that happen?
Like the story of how that came about.
Yeah, like I mean, because did you get multiple offers or just Mizzou
I
or
did. Yeah,
okay?
I got multiple offers.
So how did you? I mean, to your knowledge, how did you get the scholarship offer from Missouri? Um, as like you said, you got multiple, so it's like you had your pick. We want. I guess we could answer that now. I was gonna go ahead and say like, why'd you choose Mizzou? So a
Um,
little bit of both. Like, how'd you end up picking or getting a scholarship from Missouri, and why'd you pick them?
okay, so I feel like it's kind of like a whole story. So I grew up in Columbia, Missouri for 12 years, and then my dad got a job out in Arizona. Um, so we moved to Arizona, but like growing up, I always went to the softball games when I was little, and it was like, the dream to play at Mizzou. But when we moved to Arizona, I still knew that I wanted to come back and play for Missouri. Like that was the dream, that was always the goal. So somehow I got connected with a club team based out of Kansas City for my last 2 years of high school, and the head coach Eric Jones had great connections with Coach Larissa Anderson, a coach here, and so I was kind of able to be seen by her and some of the other coaches fall of my junior year. And they liked what they saw, so they gave me an opportunity, and obviously it was so surreal because I like couldn't believe it because that was like the dream right there.
Yeah.
So it was honestly it was a no-brainer to come back and play for the Tigers.
That's cool. And so you mentioned you got multiple scholarships. Not to,
Mhm.
brag or anything, but how many did you get?
I have a list on my phone, but I don't know off the top of my head. I mean,
Rough number, rough number.
there were probably 15 other schools, I think.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's really good. So, you kind of talked about how you chose college or Mizzou.
Mhm.
So what year are you right now?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman. Okay. What has been one of the hardest things for you going to college? And that can be, if you can, try and mix in like one of the hardest things for softball, like the adjustment, and one of the hardest things for schooling, and just kind of like your lifestyle. Like a lot of things change.
Yeah. Um, so I'll start with softball. I would say one of the harder things is like adjusting from like, okay, here's a little bit of softball with some school, but when you get to college, it's like everything is softball and your life is softball all the time, 100%. Like like with some school thrown in there, honestly. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. And I mean, I love it, but it was a big adjustment, like getting up at 5 a.m. for weights. Like I'd never done that before. Um, and so like your whole life is centered just around the sport that you're doing. And that was a big adjustment. Um, Used to it now, I know now. Like I'm still obviously adjusting to other things.
Yeah.
Um, but then like life-wise, I would say the biggest adjustment is like not having my parents to just like call and be like, I don't know what to do. Can you come help me? Like what do I do? Like I'm on my own. So yeah,
Yeah. I definitely that is a big adjustment. You go
yeah,
from being at home all the time or like having your parents there, and it's like now you're free to do whatever you want. So there's a lot of
yeah.
responsibility. So kind of touching on that right now, could you tell us what is kind of like the typical day? You don't have to go into detail, but just what's the typical day? Not the You said today is kind of like your off day, right?
Mondays are off days.
Okay, so kind of like a normal day, you're in the week, you're past your off day. What does that look like for you?
Um, well, I feel like every day is very different right now because some days we'll travel. Um, and other days we'll have like a midweek game. But I would say a day.
Like, what's tomorrow look like?
Okay, so tomorrow I'll wake up probably like 7:38. Um, go over to the Matsy, which is our dining hall, the athletic,
Yeah, Mizzou Athletic Training Center.
Yep, yep, yep. Um, and then I will have mentoring with my academic advisor for about 30 minutes. Then I'll have mandatory tutoring for anatomy. And then right after that, we have lift groups. So I'll go to my lift group. And then right after that, we have team practice. And then we head out to Illinois tomorrow for our midweek game on Wednesday. But we're driving there tomorrow. So then I'll be on a bus for I don't even know how long.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
little bit of a drive.
So, and then I guess Wednesday is just our midweek game. We'll get back Wednesday evening, and then we fly out Thursday morning to go to our series against Tennessee.
Nice.
So
Okay,
busy
so
week this week. A lot
yeah,
of traveling.
that's one
Yeah.
of the things that I think uh, a lot of youth athletes might not realize or understand yet is that like once you get there, like you said, no matter what the sport is, it's like year round and you're
Hmm.
training and it's like you have all these responsibilities. And yeah, like you said, a little bit of school, but it's like, practice and tutoring and meetings and film and travel. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, but also for kids that think they're just going to go there, practice for a little bit and then do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like, not so much. Okay, so when did you start playing softball?
Um, well, I mean, I started the whole like rec ball thing when I was 5, but I started playing competitively when I was 9.
9. Okay. And is softball the only sport you played when you were younger?
When I lived in Missouri, I would do like softball in, the warmer season, and then when you couldn't play because there's snow on the ground, I would do basketball in the winter, but then I would go back to softball. That's really like where my heart was at was like with softball, so basketball was kind of like a little side thing.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Arizona, I did volleyball for a year along with softball, just kind of for fun, but it was really just oh, let me do it because, why not? But yeah, just really softball.
What made you choose softball? I know you said your heart was in it, but can you think of what made you pick that?
Well, I also started pitching when I was 9 and I just like I loved pitching. I don't know what about it exactly. I think it has to do with like being involved in every single play. And I just I love that. I know every single play, like I have the ball in my hand. And like that I can have such an impact on the game and like helping out my teammates and like I want to do anything I can to like help us win. And I just love that so much, which is what I think leads into like my love for the game of
Yeah.
softball and like being centered around a team where like we all have like one goal in common and like even though we're playing different positions, we're all working together
Yeah.
to get the win.
That's right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a freshman now and you've been playing since you were about 5. Now, of course, you probably don't remember everything, but
Yeah.
along your career, you've probably had a few coaches that you've liked, maybe a favorite in mind. But what is it that you like about, or what are traits that you like in a coach? As a player, everyone responds to different things. But for you specifically, what are traits that you like to see in a coach when they're coaching you, they're giving you encouragement, they're doing constructive criticism, that kind of thing?
Um, Definitely a coach that they can be like fun and like great and knows how to have fun in certain moments, but like when they need to turn it on and like get on me, like they're on me, but I know it's out of like I know you can do this, like so like let's go at it together type of thing. Um Definitely a coach, which I mean, I know everybody looks for this, but that like will work with me and not be like, you have to do this my way because this is how I did it. So you're gonna do it this way too. Like a coach, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, everybody's different and I can see that. So we're gonna work with what you have and I'm gonna work with what she has, and we're gonna make each other like better that way, not just like, oh, you
Yeah.
have to do it this way because I want you to do it this way. So
Yeah, that's I think one of the most important things from a coach is, I mean, you run into coaches that are, you got to do it my way, no other way. but it's like the job of a coach. One of the main jobs is to help the player perform at their best. And so I really like that. That's a good point. So no, on the opposite side, you've had some traits about coaches you like. What about some traits that you don't like, or maybe more specifically, some traits that hinder you from being coachable?
I just don't see like any benefit to when coaches just yell at you the whole time and like, oh, if you mess up, you're running. I don't personally, I don't get that. I know maybe for some people it works, but like the whole like punishment, like running because you messed up or you like made an error, like I don't get that. I don't see that. All it does is make you more scared and then that's all you can think about. You're gonna mess up. Like a coach that like works with you, like Coach Anders said, she never, never, never absolutely just yells at us when we like mess up. Like she is so understanding and like, okay, we're gonna grow from this. Like you're gonna face adversity, we're gonna work through it and we're gonna figure it out. Like, and I absolutely like love that about her.
Yeah, that's cool. I can see that for sure. All right. Now, so far, said you're a freshman in college, but you've obviously every athlete, I mean, at any age deals with some adversity and
Mhm.
some failure. So for you personally, how have you been able to overcome some of your adversities and failures so far?
Um, I feel like a big part of it is the people I surround myself with. And like who I have there to like talk to when I am going through struggles because everybody will go through struggles. Um, so like my dad is a really big part of like my softball career and when I go through struggles, he's always there and he always just has like the best advice and he like, all he does is just, like, he wants to help me, so I know when I struggle, I turn to him, he gives me great advice, we have a great talk, and then I have a confidence boost, and I'm able to kinda, like, turn myself around from there, um,
Okay.
yeah, I would just say the people I surround myself with.
Yeah, it's good. You are who you hang out with. So, all right. For those of who don't know, how many innings are in softball?
7.
Seven. Sorry, you cut out, right?
Yes,
Okay.
7
So
innings.
it is the bottom of the seventh. You're pitching, bases loaded.
Okay.
Walk up to, you got someone walking up to the plate. They got two balls, one strike, pitch it down the middle. She cranks it over the fence, and that's it. How do you handle that situation personally? How do you handle it?
Um, I mean, I think for a minute, I'm gonna, like, let the anger kinda, like, "Okay, I have my, like, 10 seconds of, like, wow, that I can't believe that just happened." But at the same time, like, it's part of the game. Like, I signed up for this, so, like and I try, like, really hard to always be positive, like, I constantly think about that because I know if I walk back in the dugout and I'm just so upset and I throw my stuff and I'm sitting there crying, like, what does that show my teammates? Like, what does that show my coach? Like, that I've given up, like, that I can't handle the situation because 'cause I'll be put back out there at some point.
Yeah.
It's really how I respond and, like, my emotions I show and just looking at the positive, and the positive is, like, it's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah.
not. So, just trying to see the positive in everything.
Okay. Now this one's a little bit more pressure oriented, but so same situation,
Okay.
but right now it's the top of the seventh and you're down one, bases loaded, you're pitching, and you walk the girl. So now they get a run, it's tied up.
Mhm.
Before you start pitching for that next batter, what type of things are going through your head? Is it, oh no, I just walked a go, I want to do it again, or else, we might lose? Or is it just, hey, I'm about to get this one?
It has to be all positive self-talk. Like, it has to be. It has to be like, go at her, go get her, go shut her down. Because if you have the like, oh no, like 100% negative talk, you're gonna blow it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have positive self-talk. And even though it's hard, that goes into like, okay, fake it. Like, fake the positive self-talk to yourself, and the results will speak for themselves.
Nice. I like it. What was one of your favorite memories in high school?
I would say winning 2 state championships
Oh,
was pretty great.
yeah, I'd say so. That's pretty great. What about so far in college? So you're in your second semester.
Mhm.
What's been one of your favorite memories so far?
Okay, so there are a few things from the fall that stick out. One of the days, it was homecoming weekend actually. We were supposed to practice Saturday morning. And we had recruits with us, and coach let the recruits go to the parade, and we were supposed to practice. And the seniors were like, "We've never been to the Mizzou homecoming parade because we always practice. Like, we should try to get coach to let us go and cancel practice." And so we're all like in the locker room devising a plan, and the seniors go talk to her, and coach comes in the locker room and she's like, "You guys can go to the parade." So we were so excited. We hop in the back of Taylor Pennell's truck and we're riding like through campus, like just a whole softball team. Cars are like what? Like we're in our softball uniforms. We get there, and then um our athletic director, um, Desiree, like the athletics are walking up and she's like, hop in the parade. So we get out of the truck, we hop in the parade and we're just in the parade. And it was just the funnest thing ever. Like it was so cool. Like that's something that really stands out to me because it was so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
that was a great memory. We went and did team bonding with paintballing
Mm.
in the fall. That was so much fun. We did hot yoga. That wasn't like that fun because it was
Yeah, you're
yeah,
sweating profusely.
but the paintball was so much fun. Um, and I've really enjoyed playing and traveling around this semester. Like I just love being with my team. Like we have a great team chemistry. It's a ton of fun to be around all the girls.
That's good. All right. Well, for you to this point, and even previously, because obviously you had to have success to get to where you're at now, but what's one thing that you think helped help lead you to your success?
Um, a lot of it goes back to the people I surround myself with. So like I feel like I've surrounded myself with very driven people, driven friends, so they're gonna push me and they're gonna drive me to want to do better. My parents always push me to do better. Um, and yeah, no, I really just feel like it comes back down to the people that I'm with that push me to do better every single day and
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
you become a product of your environment.
Hmm.
That's cool. All right, so now you're technically, I mean, you're an adult, but for to some you're a kid. But if you go back to being a little kid, um, what's something, or is there something you would have done differently? So you go back to 5, 6 years old, or maybe a little bit older, like 10 years old, and obviously you've made it to where you're at now. You got a scholarship to Mizzou. You're a pitcher there. But is there anything you look back and say that you would have done something differently? And not to say that it would have kept you from being where you're at, but you look back like, you know what, I wish I would have done this differently, or I'm glad I did this.
Um, I remember being 12 and hearing that we were moving to Arizona, and I was like, I don't want to go. Like I don't want to do it. I don't want to go there. Like I'm gonna stay here. I don't know how, but I'm gonna stay here. That didn't happen. Um, but looking back at it now, moving to Arizona is the reason I'm here at Mizzou because of the people I met there to get me here at Mizzou. I 100% don't think I'd be playing at Mizzou if I didn't move to Arizona. So I wish that I would have known it's all gonna work out and God has a plan for you, so trust it because it will all work itself out. And I wish I could have told myself that. Yeah,
Hey, you learn from it. You learn
yeah.
from it. So, still going back to being a kid, if you could go back, but you had to pick a different sport, knowing everything that you know now, what sport would you pick?
Probably volleyball.
Volleyball?
Hmm.
Why is that?
Well, I also grew up going to the Mizzou volleyball games too, which are so much fun. But I'm decently tall. I'm 5'9", so I keep it up there. But I also I just think it's so much fun too. It's an indoor sport, so you can play year round too. But yeah, I think it's fun.
All right,
Yeah.
volleyball. And this is a tough one. As a youth athlete, so let's just say somewhere around between 12 years old and 17, 18 years old, do you think that a youth athlete should be in a serious relationship?
Um, wow. Wow. Um, I'm gonna say no.
All right.
Um, and I do speak from experience. And the reason I say that is because looking back at everything I know now, like, I'm not saying don't date, like,
Yeah.
yeah, date, but, like, serious relationship, like, no. And I even question now, like, being, like, 19 and in college, like, do I need to, like, say the opportunity arose, do I need to be in a serious, like, relationship now? Like, my job is to play softball, and I don't need other distractions. I feel like from age 12 to 18, like, there's so many other things that you have to focus on and worry about. Being in a serious relationship, I don't feel like is one of them.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's a lot of maybe dating someone to find out, like, okay, I like this quality in this person. Oh, I don't like this quality in that person. But like the whole like 13 and like, I'm gonna marry you. Like, I don't think that I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
yeah,
that's a solid answer. That's a tough question, but
yeah,
you're just speaking from experience, and I appreciate that. That's a that's a tough question to answer.
yeah.
It's a pretty good impersonation of a 13-year-old too. All right. So moving on to an easier question. In high
Okay.
school, did you have a serious injury playing softball? Or I guess any sport.
Um, I had some back issues. My sophomore year that was really tough. Um, I went to PT for a while, but like it wasn't anything like super serious. That's just like the only thing that
Yeah.
like I struggled with that kept me out of like a few games and from pitching and stuff.
So you think you've come back stronger than that before it was giving you issues, or do you feel like it kind of held you back a little bit?
No, I don't think it held me back. I would say I came back stronger, especially because all the PT I had to do, which made me stronger too. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, for sure, coming back stronger.
Okay. What do you think a piece, or what is a good piece of advice that you would give to younger athletes now?
Um, well, like if I could talk to my younger self and like I would say just trust the process. But also like have fun with it. Like you're at an age where like you're a kid. Like don't stress over everything. Have fun with it. Know that it's all for fun and like that's not to say like things won't be stressful
Yeah.
when you're younger cuz by all means like I get it. Um, but like just have fun with it. Like enjoy the moment, be present in the moment, be where your feet are. Um, and like have some confidence in yourself, have some swag, like
Yeah.
just get after it. Yeah.
I like it. So to a kid who is trying to decide where to play in college, they
Mhm.
might have some scholarships, they might have some preferred walk-ons. What would you tell that kid and how to make that decision to choose which college to play at?
I feel like there's several different factors that go into choosing that. Um, I know like when I was still trying to make my decision, like, I would go on a visit to campuses, and I'd be like, "Okay, I really like this campus. Now could I see myself here? Like, what would a day here look like? And do I see myself, like, thriving on this campus?" Or, like, there would be some campuses where I'd be like, "This is not for me." Like,
Yeah.
I just know it's not for me. So really, like, evaluating the campus, what your life might be like, um, trying to evaluate the coaches, and really, like, I think a lot of it comes down to, like, asking the players, like, questions because, like, you wanna know what it's like to play there, like, ask a player,
Yeah.
um, and get their view on things, like what does a day look like? Are the coaches actually who they say they are from recruiting versus playing for them? Um, just trying to like piece together different things to get an idea of like if you could actually see yourself there, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. Okay. So the last question in this section is what do you think the most important thing to do is for a young softball player right now? you had to pick one. I mean, I know there's a lot and there's
Yeah.
details, but just if a 13-year-old girl came and asked you, Marissa, what's the most important thing I can do right now? What would you say?
Um, wow, that's actually really hard. Um, I would probably just tell them to like, I mean, this is so cliche, but like if they really want to like grow as a player, like don't give up. Just like keep working and good things will happen. And this is two things, but have a positive mindset.
Yeah.
Like being sad, being upset, like I get it's gonna happen, those feelings are gonna come, but like it does no good for anybody, your teammates, your coaches, your parents, when you're sitting in the car on the drive home. Like just look at the positive, be optimistic.
Okay. No, and it's one thing too, it's really cool. I mean, you might feel like it's cliche, but like you're in it right now. I mean, right now you have way more to your words, you have way more weight to your words than I would. It's like, yeah, I played at Mizzou as well as a quarterback and stuff, but you're currently doing it. So it's like you've got that experience of like, hey, a kid that wants to be in your position, what would you tell them? So I appreciate you sharing that. Don't feel like it's cliche, but I know what you mean though, because sometimes I'll give answers and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this second part, it's called key questions, and like I was telling you, it's just the five most asked or considered questions by youth athletes and parents. The first one is, what advice would you give parents who are trying to raise a superstar?
Don't put too much pressure on them. Like, if you like, yeah, don't put the pressure on them of like, you have to do this, you have to do this. Like, they're gonna get burnt out. I've seen it before. Like, I've had amazing parents who have always been like, at any moment, like, you can stop. Like, or if you don't want to do it anymore, like, that's okay. But if you want this, then we'll help you get there and we'll push you. But like, don't put the pressure on them to be some superstar athlete because they'll get burnt out fast.
I like it. Second question, how can youth athletes better balance everything that they have going on in life between home life, school, a job, relationship, their faith? I mean, you obviously have a little bit more going on at the collegiate level. It's just such an amp up of responsibilities. But for youth athletes, how do you think is a good way for them to balance everything that they have going on?
I feel like a lot of it comes down to like just being present in the moment and being where your feet are. So if you have practice in the afternoon, go to practice. And then if you know you have something after that, that's like, okay, I'm gonna worry about practice, and then I'm gonna go to whatever it is. I guess maybe you have school earlier in the day. I'm gonna go to school, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna go to practice. Just like not stressing yourself with like, "Oh, I have to do this, this, and this today." Just like I don't know how to describe it. I don't even know if this makes sense. Just like be present in the moment and like don't over stress like everything that you have to do. Obviously, it's easier said than done. Like I'm
Yeah.
working on this myself. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. No, that makes sense. It's kind of like prioritizing, it's like taking it one step at a time
yeah.
and figure it out. So, question number three, what are some ways that youth athletes can get noticed by schools if they want to play at the collegiate level?
I really feel like a lot of it comes down to being on a competitive like club team. Um, for well, I guess I'll speak for softball. I don't know about any other
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
other sports, but for softball, like being on a good competitive club team, it's really, really important. Girls aren't gonna get noticed through high school most of the time. That's not how softball works.
Yeah.
But also it's important that when you are on that like competitive club team that you're reaching out to schools. You can't just expect them to come to you. You have to reach out to schools and you have to like show that you care and that you want them so that they want you back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
All right. I like that.
yeah.
Fourth key question. Do you think youth athletes should have like a meal plan or diet that they stick to? And we've talked about, or I've talked about this before with some others. Obviously, it can be really expensive and not everyone has the resources to, but just in general, do you think that they should try and stick to some kind of meal plan?
Um, I wouldn't say maybe sticking to a meal plan, but I think it's important that you still watch what you eat. And I guess it all depends, like, if a certain person needs a meal plan, then by all means, like, go for it. But I don't think it's absolutely important to stick to a meal plan as a youth athlete. Just be smart with what you're eating. Like, don't be eating candy or absolute junk food throughout the week, like, especially if you have a game, like, coming up soon, like, you should be fueling your body and knowing, like, "Okay, I have a game, what do I need to eat before the game? Oh, okay, what I ate, I felt really good during the game, I should continue to do that," not, like, switching, like, between whatever it is just because you didn't want that and you didn't like it, like, sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta eat things that you don't want, but they might make you better, so,
Very
yeah,
true. Very true.
yeah.
Fifth question, the last one is, would you recommend youth athletes playing multiple sports?
Um, I mean, yeah, I would say yes, like, the older I got, like, I didn't, but looking back, like, I feel like that is a small regret of mine, is not playing more sports. It's tough because then at the same time, though, I'm like, "Well, I really got to focus on softball," so but, like, by all means, I would say go for it. I think it's great to be able to go from one sport to another and, grow your just, like, athletic IQ
Yeah.
of of sports.
All
Yeah.
right. Hey, so far everyone has said multiple sports, so good try. Okay, now the last section, it's called rapid fire. I'm gonna give you two choices and you just pick one. First one that
Ok
comes to mind, say it.
okay.
Okay. Grape or purple?
Grape.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Michael Jordan.
Maria Sharapova or Serena Williams?
Serena Williams.
Simone Biles or Olivia Dunn?
Small Biles.
Oh, Apple or Android?
Apple.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Nice. Early riser or night owl?
Night owl.
Dreamer or realistic?
Realistic.
Greatest athlete of all time in any sport?
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Okay. Lululemon or Nike?
Lululemon.
Toilet paper over or under?
Over.
Deep dish or thin crust?
Deep dish.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady?
Patrick Mahomes.
McDonald's or Wendy's French fries?
Wendy's.
Savory or fruity?
Fruity.
Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Tacos or burgers?
Burgers.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Camping or glamping?
Camping.
Superhero or supervillain?
Superhero.
Nice. All right. Well, that's it.
Okay.
Again, Marissa, thanks so much for doing this. I know it might be one kid, it might be 100, it might be 1,000 kids that see this, but something that you said, I know it can resonate with them because you're living it out right now. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And that's your fuel for thought. So let me stop this real quick. And then, man, that was really good.